Today's Wednesday, July 13, 2016. You're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. Hey, everybody, had some technical difficulties this morning, but we're back on track. So stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Yes, it's good to be here. Man, it's one of those mornings, people. One of those mornings where I think I should have just stayed in bed. Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to change some settings on my mixing board, and I actually lost everything that I possibly had. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing great out there, and if you are on vacation, enjoy it. And if you have a vacation coming up, make sure you have everything planned for it. I am going away in about 2 weeks. I cannot wait. It's been busy at work. It's been busy on the Elevator U front, EESF front. Just lots of stuff going on, and I hope that everybody out there is remembering safety each and every day. So we are literally about 2 hours behind in getting the show produced, so this will be a quick show as we approach 6:30 a.m. 5:30 a.m. this Central Standard Time for starting the show. Normally, the show is being uploaded at this time, and everything's good to go. But in this case, we are not quite there. So, anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day, great week, and we'll get into the show notes shortly. As always, go over to the Facebook page, like it, love it, learn it, whatever, all that good stuff, and feel free to share stories that we post throughout the week about stuff that's going on throughout the space of vertical transportation. This week, fewer articles, but a couple that just made me want to vomit. So please share them and make sure that you are preaching safety and how not to ride equipment. Also, just, be safe out there. So anyway, we'll get up into the news next. Sounds like I'm just reaming somebody, but I'm not. And then we'll have you out of here in no time. And if you got an article you'd like to share it on Facebook, on the site page over there, okay? All right, up next, news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Alrighty, first news article coming from Fox 17 News, Nashville. Article talking about escalator accidents at Nashville Airport on track to double last year. Let everybody play this in their own time, but to be honest with you, when you see escalators being used in airports, 9 times out of 10 you see them, or maybe I should say 6 times out of 10, you see people putting luggage carts on there and doing stuff they really shouldn't be doing. And while accidents at Nashville International Airport is not a ton, 18 out of the 22 of this year were serious enough to require outside medical help. So one of the reasons why they're citing that is because the number of passengers visiting the airport has increased. They're going through about 12 million passengers a year, which is a pretty significant increase. So just remember, practice safety, and as I'll get into an article later on in the program, we're becoming even bigger cell phone zombies with the recent release of the Pokemon Go app. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I'll get into that in the end of the program. because it's interesting, and it'll be even more interesting to see what happens to people's safety as they start playing this game. So, okay, Yahoo Finance has a press release. I'd like to call it that from Shenzhen, China. Apparently, the company CNIT, China Information Technology, has received an order for 800 elevator digital ad terminals to be installed in cities in Tianjin, Shenzhen, Xiamen, Guangzhou. I didn't pronounce any of those correctly, so feel free to send me your hate emails if you would like to correct me. But apparently, I wonder how that works in China. Do you know, when most governments most businesses are either government controlled or owned in some small part way, whatever. It'd be interesting to see how this all happens and what kind of content is pushed into these types of terminals. Hopefully, they start preaching safety, so that they can avoid some of the accidents that occurred or have occurred in the past, and curb them in the future. So, and here's the article that I'm talking about. In China, EJ Insight, squeaky chair, reporting that father and a 2-year-old son die in a China escalator accident. All I can imagine by looking at this, where the sheets are laid out, okay, and the shoes are at, all I can imagine is that somehow the father was holding the child and fell, or something happened, and it's awful. I mean, you think we'll ever see a day when we're putting up plexiglass walls around escalators to make sure people don't fall into them? I'm sure we'll see more, different kind of lawsuits, or will there be a day that, 50 years from now, we'll all look back and go, my goodness, I can't believe we rode escalators, as a form of transportation. You wonder if that's going to happen. I don't think so, but man, this is definitely not a good story. Another story on the positive note: ShanghaiDaily.com reporting that Otis is going to be training more elevator mechanics. They have a pretty cool article about their first technical training center in the Chinese mainland last week, and it's supposed to develop a pretty significant training platform for mechanics, and I think that's a great idea. Anytime you can train, you can educate, you should have a safer industry. Okay, just as a reminder, the Chicago Elevator Association golf outing is fast approaching, and if you have not registered or got your registration or your sponsorship forms in, please do so as soon as you possibly can. It will be held on Friday, August 5th. If you're not interested in golfing, make sure you consider attending the dinner, and that'll entitle you to win a raffle, which is legendary. Tom Perspilo, Parts Specialist, spends a year collecting goodies for that, and starts on Black Friday, if you can believe it. It certainly does. So great job by Glenn and Matt Dennett and Tommy over at Parts Specialist for their awesome input into that event each year. So a lot of fun. Okay, next article. This one doesn't really involve an elevator, other than it's a coke elevator. And for those of you that are not sure what coke is a byproduct of the oil refining process. I've been at coke processing facilities. It's amazing. It's used for fuel. It's used for briquettes. And actually, if you realize that the briquettes that you use to light up your grill are made out of petroleum or a coke product, you might think twice about actually using it, although there's nothing like a good charcoal fire to get stuff going. But yeah, but anyway, apparently this is a article talking about the proposed fine against the company Tonawanda Coke Corporation after a January accident in which an employee preparing to grease and lubricate the elevator had his jacket caught pulling the man onto the rotating shaft. The agency said Thursday in a statement. So, long and short story of the whole thing is that the lockout tagout procedures were not implemented or not followed. I guess I should say. Not to say that I wouldn't say that the company. I can't report on that, whether or not they have a safety program. I'm certain that they do. I would imagine so. But unfortunately, when OSHA gets involved, you're looking at fines anywhere you look at it, and they are going to come through and pretty much fine you for anything that they find. So $175,000, just over $175,000 in proposed fines. So that will probably be negotiated down, but still lots of money to just basically burn in a barrel. So make sure you're practicing the proper safety measures each and every day. Your safety program at your company is intact, and it's being done, it's documented, etc., etc. Make sure you're doing all that good stuff. Okay, Elevator World has their July Online Extras links if you want to go over and check that out. I always enjoy this section because some of it doesn't make it into the magazine. So there's some photos from the tribute to George Gibson, who's retiring. I wish you the best, George, and thank you for your service to our industry. Some cool patents. So check that out. Link is in the show notes. If you've not already become a subscriber to Elevator World, please do so. Or consider doing so, and also check out their Elevator World Unplugged blog. They got a lot of stuff going on over there. So, next article: never try to get out of an elevator that is stalled. And this is coming from the Daily News. I love the fact that the New York City or I should say, New York City Housing Authority, buildings in their press release. With their safety campaign, they're focusing on making sure people understand that the best place for you to be when an elevator stalls, there's not opening at the landing, is in the elevator. Don't try to get out. Don't ask somebody to, if there's an innocent bystander who's trying to open doors and get you out of there, just stay there until a professional mechanic gets there or a first responder does, either way. So just don't. So many people jump down, fall into the opening down the pit, and that's something that nobody should, really even put themselves in that kind of situation. So that's really important. So it's nice to see that kind of traction gain throughout the internet world. Okay, Consult-Specifying Engineer magazine or website or whatever it is has a interesting article about considerations when designing for an elevator system. It's a general publication to some extent, but for anybody who's an architect or specifications writer, it's got some good information that maybe might be a little generic, but might be a good tool for contractors out there looking to help educate their customers. What's what. So maybe some information, general information that you might want to share with your clients and educating them on elevators and whatnot. So. So consider that as a tool or something that you might work out, for your application or marketing effort or education effort for your customers. Okay, next article. I didn't post this on how the title of the article was written because I didn't want to draw any more attention to it. But since all of you are listening and watching the video, however you're tuning in, this is absolutely terrifying. Teenager risks his life clinging to outside of escalator days after lad dies performing the same stunt. If you take a look at this video, it's going to make you sick because if you've ever seen escalator banks, and we have some of these in the city of Chicago down at Macy's or the old Marshall Field building, where they basically just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up and down. And in between, there's this huge gap where you look down and you just get the willies because you realize that if you fell over, you'd just be dead instantaneously. Well, this guy, in the video that was taken of this escalator guy, this kid, he gets on the outside, hangs on the escalator handrail, and then basically gets pulled up, but he gets off of it, climbs over the other side before running out of room and getting slammed into the wall and then falling all the way down. But I just can't believe, I don't know what's more frustrating, these kind of videos or, the fact that media and online viral crap picks it up and just runs with it. I don't know, because more and more people do it. Next thing you know, you got a bunch of yahoos out there and everybody's going, hey, our escalator's safe, and they are, as long as you're not doing stupid crap like this, So, a little frightening, and wish it weren't online. So the only reason why I didn't post it with the actual title was so that nobody comes to my website and finds it that way. So apparently another headache for the China Securities Regulatory Commission, or CSRC, in the Beijing office, is the recent issues of elevators being broken down more frequently and not having the funding to fix or maintain them. So, I would think that'd be a big issue. And if you think that elevators are the only thing they're having problems with, in terms of maintenance and things breaking down. Guess again, because elevators are such a small part of building systems that you got to figure that there's other issues that are definitely happening that I'm not even talking about, or that are in the news, and that just kind of goes to kind of what happens when you've got little regulation, or you got regulation, but it's not quite where it should be, and a population and industry that is growing at the rate that it is. I mean, exponentially. I mean, even if it's slowed down now, it's still cruising along at a heck of a clipping rate. So, just as a note, if you're traveling to China, it might not be a great place to be. This is cool. Article coming from thechiefleader.com. Oh, no, this is not a cool article. Okay, sorry, next one is. Chiefleader.com has and I got to log in. I'm not going to subscribe to this thing, but hey, since when are elevator mechanics helpers lists or mechanics made public? Why would that happen? And I can't read this because it's all blacked out and grayed out, and I'm not going to become a subscriber to the Chief. But is that considered public knowledge, or is that done probably, maybe it's done under the licensing program of the state that this location is in? But man, I don't think that information should be made public. I don't know about you, but and maybe it didn't on purpose. I really don't know. I didn't really get a chance to check it out. I just didn't know if that was something that happened all the time. Okay, this is kind of a cool article, and it really has nothing to do with elevators, other than the fact that there is an elevator inside the video. But this is this article is coming from GameReactor.eu. And if you're kind of I'm not really a gamer, but I do like playing games. I like the vintage games. I'm not very good at any of the Xbox games that are out there now. Just there's too many buttons. I just give me 2 buttons and I'm good. But this is a new game called The Assembly, and it is a virtual reality adventure. Can you imagine? I'm just throwing this out here because it'd be really cool to see a day where training takes on a whole nother level with virtual reality in terms of maintaining or working in an elevator and training, and it's just kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see if VR takes off to the point where it's a significant tool that many are using. I always figured that the glasses you gotta wear is still kind of an issue, and until they kind of make those a little more streamlined, not so heavy, and I just figure they're never going to get to the point where it's going to be a mainstream thing. But a lot of money is being invested in virtual reality. It'll be interesting to see how it evolves in the next 10 years. This is the cool article I was talking about. The RockdaleCitizens.com reporting. If you want a 4-wheeler, you can get one somewhere. Qualified buyers sought for Conyers Rockdale Habitat for Humanity House. Great article. I love to hear or read about people in our industry giving back and in their own spare time. And this has got a great quote from elevator mechanic. Let's see, where's his name? There we go. Elevator mechanic Nick Schimmel. Nick, thank you for giving back. Thank you for doing more than using your free time to give back to the area that you live in. I just think it's awesome. So hats off to you. If you are a listener of the show, love to send you a t-shirt. How about that? And just shoot me an email or like the Facebook page. Send me a personal message, and I will send you a t-shirt. Let me know what size you are, and I'll get you a Got Lift shirt and some other goodies, okay? Get you a prize pack giveaway. Okay, next news article. Oh, I can't even read this. I don't even know how in the heck this article got somehow online. Woman gets breast caught in escalator at casino. Okay, I don't want to get into the details more than what it says, but okay, so we've had one incident where a little boy got his scrotum pulled into an escalator. Here's one where a woman's breast was pulled in, and it's just, if you read it, it's just like, oh my gosh. This is coming from Courthouse News Service on July 6th. I don't know when the accident actually happened. I don't know why it's online. But the description is awful. All I can imagine, she fell and then just got pulled. Oh, God. Oh. gonna get off of it. I can envision this whole thing happening, and I just want to vomit. Just want to vomit. Okay, all right. This is next news article. Last one of the show. If you have kids, you already know your kids are probably involved in this Pokemon Go thing. It's a game that basically a GPS navigation thing where you're going to look for Pokemon thing. And yeah, kids in high school are doing this thing. This is like a significant, major thing. I mean, this is like the next Facebook to some extent. And this is probably the best article that I read about it. But if you see anybody walking around looking at their phone, there's a good chance they're looking for Pokemon. When I asked my high schooler, like, hey, so what's the deal with this? It's free. How are they going to make money? Well, you know how they're going to make money? Read this article. If you can imagine directing people to your business because they're looking for Pokemon, it's like a whole new game changer. Although, you're going to be looking for Pokemon, kids are not necessarily going to have money, but there are ways of spending money so that you are driving traffic to your, and it doesn't really apply to the industry that we're in, or business to business, I don't think. But it's kind of crazy to see how something like this could take off so quickly, and then also see how financially it's going to benefit the company through advertising. And I just think it's genius. I mean, I think it's genius. I don't know whether or not it's actually going to make money for companies that actually invest in trying to get Pokemon or gyms or whatever to their actual location, but we'll see. And I thought this was a pretty good article to read. I've got a phone that's so damn old that I can't even load the app. So, and I'm not a Pokemon fan, but my kids were when they were younger, and I don't even know why. So, anyway, well, that's gonna do it for the show, everybody. Sorry it's so short, but sometimes short is sweet and short is good. And again, just didn't quite get everything I needed to get done before the show ends. So everybody be safe out there. Share the articles as best you can, and we'll be back next Wednesday with another show before heading out on vacation. So take care, everybody. Be safe. Bye-bye.